Hello viewers, welcome to today's edition of Religious Vocation Digest here on Cafdil TV. Today we are coming to you from the FIC Brothers community here in Wa. We have an experienced brother also here to share his vocation story and experiences with us. We are also live on Facebook, Cafdil Cape Coast, YouTube, Cafdil EDU. Share the link with friends and family. You like and then you send us your comments. We'll be right back after this short break.
Over to you, brother. So I am in the person of Brother Prosper Ganye. I am from Nandom Kogli, and I stay in Avelinus Youngson community. I am the brother in charge of youth, apostolate, and vocation promotion. So I want to use this platform, this medium, to appeal to the young men out there that if you are searching for vocation, if you are searching for a particular way of life, the FIC way of life is what I would recommend for you. And then if you have the desire to be a consecrated man, then I'll recommend the FIC way of life. Now, who can join us? Every person, and I mean every baptized, practicing Catholic young man who is not married, you are eligible to be part of us. Apart from that, you must have the desire to be a non-clerical religious. Non-clerical in the sense that you must have the desire to be a brother and not a priest, because we are only brothers. We are non-clerical men religious. So you must have that desire to be a brother to Christ and a brother to your fellow brothers, living with them in community. You must also attain the ages between 18 and 30 years. So you must either be 18 or above, or 30 or below. Beyond that, you must possess or be pursuing any of these, academic qualifications, either a WASI certificate, an APTEX certificate 2, or you must have a diploma in any professional career or a degree from any recognized university. You are eligible to be part of us. Apart from that, you must have good health, you must have suitable character, and you must have the sufficient qualities that are needed for one to embrace the proper FIC way of life to be part of us. And so with all these qualities, then you are eligible to be a member of the FIC family.
You're welcome back. This is Religious Vocation Digest here on Cafdil TV. We are coming to you live from Wa, the FIC Brothers community, St. Louis community precisely. And just as I said from the beginning, we're going to have one of the experienced brothers to share his vocation story and experiences with us. Brother, you are most welcome.
Thank you very much, sister. Yes.
How is life?
Life is, I would say, quite good. I'm in good shape of life. Apart from my eyes, I'm okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. We thank God.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you introduce yourself to us?
Yes, my name precisely is Michael Lugnaa. Michael, you can spell. The Lugnaa is Lugnah. Michael Lugnaa. I was born in 1950, and as I've said already, actually I was born at Takwa, but at a very early stage, my father became sick and he was brought home and he died. But I was about 6 years when I was brought home. As already mentioned, I come from Kaleo, and towards about, say, 5 kilometers to the east, a village called Chang. That is where I come from.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many years have you lived there, religious vows?
Till now, it's 49 years, so next year I'll be 50 years as a brother.
Okay.
Yes.
Congratulations in advance.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
To begin with,
Yeah.
who are the FIC brothers?
The FIC brothers are brothers, what we usually say FIC is Frater Immaculata Conceptionis. That is in Latin. So you bring it to Brothers of the Immaculate Conception. So they came in 1965. Before that, we had what we call the St. Joseph Brothers. So these FIC brothers came in 1965 on the invitation of then Cardinal Bishop Peter Purkun, Bishop of Wa then. And so they came in to kind of go away from Brothers of St. Joseph and transition into Brothers of the Immaculate Conception. And that is the time I got to know of brothers. Actually, I got to know of the brothers then as St. Joseph Brothers because one of them was teaching. I attended LA primary and middle in Kaleo, and one of them came to teach us catechism, one of the St. Joseph Brothers then. And so he impressed me at that time already, 1964. And so when I completed my middle school in 1967, I applied to become a brother. And that is how I started. My application went to the brothers in 1967. And when I went to Kaleo, I was accepted. So I went to Kaleo. And I met a number of young boys, I would say young colleagues, who came also as an aspirants. Some came already in 1966, some in 1967, the same year I went. But the FIC brothers who came from the Netherlands didn't want to have middle school leavers to form them as brothers. They wanted, if you wanted to become a brother, you had to complete a senior secondary school, training college, or technical. And that is why those of us who went in 1966, 67, we were just having a kind of class, about 15 of us, preparing us in various fields of studies like geography, history, Latin, all sort of. Until in 1968, they made a choice of who would stay and who would go away. So quite a number of them were sent away, and I think 4 of us were left who branched into secondary education, training college, and technical education. Okay. And I went to the technical side where I later on went to Kukrentumi in 1969-70 academic year. I was in Kukrentumi, St. Paul's Technical School, for my technical education in building construction. I think that is
Was it your intention to be a brother?
It was my intention to be a brother. As I've already mentioned, brother, he was called Brother Dominic Bogu, Brother Dominic Bogu, and he taught us catechism in 1964. And I would say his posture impressed me to become a brother. The way he was, in a very simple nature of person, his cassock at that time. Yes, so I wanted to become a brother after leaving middle school in 1967.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were there no backlashes? Why you wanted to be a brother and not a priest?
No, I wouldn't say there was any backlash. The only backlash I had was that I was the only son of my father and mother. Okay. So then my uncle, my father's senior brother, he made a lot of noise going to become a brother and so on and so forth. All the same, he provided all my needs that I could go to become a brother. Of course, my mother was not too happy about that, again, being the only son. I think that was the only backlash. That time, it wasn't really very clear as a priest. You know, in Kaleo that time, we had the mission schools and the LA school, local authority schools. And I attended the LA authority school. I didn't have much touch with the mission really until that brother came and was teaching us catechism in the middle school. That is where I got in touch with the brothers. Okay. Yeah. So I didn't know much about the priesthood really that time. Okay. Yeah.
Take us or walk us through your formation days.
My formation days, as I already mentioned, in 1968, we were all 15 aspirants all together there, but some were sent away, and a number of us were sent to various places. One went to the secondary school, and I think 3 of us to the technical side. Now, in 1968, I was sent to Nandom, and that was the year the foundation of Nandom Secondary School started. So we're still aspirants. So I would say in 1968, I was in Nandom Secondary School as an aspirant, but I was living more or less like a brother, like any other brother. Yeah. They had accommodation there, and I also had the accommodation, those of us who wanted to join and become brothers. Until in other words, all this period, we could not go through formation because we hadn't obtained a secondary school level or technical or training college, something like that. So in 1969, 70, 2 of us passed to attend St. Paul's Technical School in Cochrane to me, passing out successfully in 1974. And in 1974, I went to then one of the Dutch brothers, Brother John van Winden. He started, after building Nandom Secondary School in 1970, starting it in 1968 and completing in 1972, he started a vocational school in 1973. So when I came from Cochrane to me after my passing through my papers, I was asked to go and help at the vocational school in 1974, where I was until 1975. I was asked to come down to Kaleo to complete a building that was started for volunteers for another vocational school that was started there. It wasn't completed, so they asked me to come and complete it. After completing it in 1975, then the actual formation started in 1976. Because in 1975, the foundation of this place we call St. Louis was started. And I was asked, the brother who started the place even asked me to come and make what we call the stratus, which I did in 1975. And then in 1976, September, proper novitiate started by Brother Alfred first. And we're only 2. The rest, Brother Greg Tang, who is now in Sunyane, and the rest the other one I was with the secondary in the technical school in Cochrane to me. He packed and left. So we're 2 who then went into formal formation, novitiate, in 1975. taking a 1 year, and so in 1976, we professed as the first brothers actually of the FIC, because they had stopped the St. Joseph Brothers, and then they were now recruiting for FIC Brothers formation. So that was when real formation. But all along, as I said, in Nandom, we were seen as brothers because we did everything like that. When they went for retreats in Tamale in the bars, we all went. The two of us went along with them, and so we did everything in common. But formal formation started in September 1975, and then we did our first profession in September 1976. Yeah.
So, you were part or one of the foundation members?
I wouldn't say
for FIC.
For FIC, yes. For FIC, I was one of the.
So FIC actually started in Ghana.
It started in Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, which countries are you found or working?
FIC now operates. We have missions in Malawi, in Indonesia, in Chile, and of course in the Netherlands. I think Ghana, of course. Other countries were there like Pakistan, but they are all gone. They are no more.
Okay.
Yeah. But at the moment, we are in mission in Malawi, Indonesia, and Ghana, the Netherlands. The Netherlands is now what we call a house of brothers, because most of them are gone.
Oh.
I think brothers that may be left, I don't know whether they are up to 10. Yeah.
For the whole country?
Yeah, for the whole country. They are all gone. And of course, we don't have young ones coming in, perhaps also even affecting Ghana as well. There's, young ones are not coming in. Chile, we don't have young ones coming in. Malawi, young ones are coming in and they are sent to Ghana for the formation, for their formation. So our strength lies Ghana, Malawi, Indonesia. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So after professing your vows, what apostolates have you been engaging yourself until today?
After my first profession in 1976, I was sent to Accra to do my Technician 1. Then I lived with the SVD brothers at the SVD guest house while attending the course at the Accra Polytechnic then. I completed in 1977, and on my return, I was put on attachment to supervise the regional administration here, now which was created in 1983. So I supervised some buildings behind the regional administration. 1977. Then at the end of 1978 rather, 1978, I was asked to, my regional provincial superior asked me to do a research work that will enable vocational school leavers who obtain grade 1 and grade 2, and at that time what we call the National Craftsmanship Certificate, the NCC certificate, entry requirement into the Polytechnic. So I was asked to do a research work on that. So I went throughout the whole northern part of Ghana and did that. But right when I completed my work and submitted it to the provincial superior, it seems the idea was mooted very well. It was accepted. But then the brother who was heading the vocational school in Nandom, Brother John Van Winden, he went home on leave and decided not to return to Ghana. So I was asked that same year, 1986, to go to Nandom and take over the school.
Okay.
So I was then in Nandom from 1986 until 2007 when I left Nandom. But while within these periods, of course, I did some studies. I 1986, okay, also after obtaining my certificate in education in Kumasi that time in 1985. So 1986, I took over and ran the school up to 1992 when I obtained admission to do a diploma and a diploma course in Britain.
Okay.
With another brother who is of blessed memory now. So the two of us went there in 1992, 1993. We did a diploma, completed, and did our masters all in Manchester University. And so I returned. While I was away, somebody was acting on my behalf. So when I returned, I still went to the same school. So I was there when I eventually was transferred from Nandom Vocational School to St. Basil's Vocational School in Calais in 2007. So actually I stayed in Nandom for 21 years in the school, yeah.
So the FIC brothers in general,
Yeah.
what is your main apostolate? What are you into?
Our main apostolate, it underpins the three pillars we have: education, formation, and teaching. And if you take education, it's a very broad area.
Yeah.
It's a very broad area. The development of the human person, which started here with Nandom Secondary School, building and training of young people, giving them knowledge acquisition and skills with the secondary school and the vocational schools. So yes, and formation as well, because we have to form ourselves and also be able to form others. It's like also in education, and teach as well. So these are the three pillars of FIC: education, formation, and teaching.
Okay.
And that is what we have been doing all along. We have drifted into other areas in the when we say seeing the signs of the times. Like one of our brothers was involved in the agric sector for a while. One was also involved in farmers cooperative also for a while. But those projects are now all what we say they are no longer functioning. So basically now we have come to the core values of our foundation, which is education, formation, and teaching. And that is why you see that we have established this education complex, and then a senior high also up there. They are all private schools that are run by the FIC brothers at the moment. So these three areas are the mission of the FIC.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the agric business that couldn't succeed, what was the problem? Was it lack of personnel?
The agric was operating with the with the support of the diocese.
Okay.
The support of the diocese, but what actually was the reason why it came down, I really don't know. But it appears either the brothers couldn't, those who were working there, after a number of years, they had to leave the place, and they didn't have somebody who would succeed them.
Okay.
Then funding also became minimal. Funding was no longer coming as we had this Sebemo that was funding around that time. That was the same thing with the farmers cooperative. I mean, when I look back in Nandom, the farmers cooperative and the agric, they were areas that people gathered in their numbers. We had the block farming, we have the cooperatives, and they were all, it was a busy area. But as the brother who was in charge, and he died about 2 years ago now, when you ask him, he said those who took over, they swallowed everything. So that is how the whole thing is no longer. If you take that of the farmers cooperative and the agri area now in Nandom, I think the vocational school now that has turned to be a technical school has taken over those structures, and they are using them. Otherwise, they were lying there fallow.
Okay.
But why actually the whole thing collapsed, I don't know why it collapsed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, viewers, let's take a break here. We'll be back shortly.
So I am in the person of Brother Prosper Ganye. I am from Nandom Kogle, and I stay in Avelinus Youngson community. I am the brother in charge of youth, apostolate, and vocation promotion. So I want to use this platform, this medium, to appeal to the young men out there that if you are searching for vocation, if you are searching for a particular way of life, the FIC way of life is what I would recommend for you. And then if you have the desire to be a consecrated man, then I'll recommend the FIC way of life. Now, who can join us? Every person, and I mean every baptized, practicing Catholic young man who is not married, you are eligible to be part of us. Apart from that, you must have the desire to be a non-clerical religious. Non-clerical in the sense that you must have the desire to be a brother and not a priest, because we are only brothers. We are non-clerical men religious. So you must have that desire to be a brother to Christ and a brother to your fellow brothers, living with them in community. You must also attain the ages between 18 and 30 years. So you must either be 18 or above, or 30 or below. Beyond that, you must possess or be pursuing any of these, academic qualifications, either a WASI certificate, an NAPTEX certificate 2, or you must have a diploma in any professional career or a degree from any recognized university. You are eligible to be part of us. Apart from that, you must have good health, you must have suitable character, and you must have the sufficient qualities that are needed for one to embrace the proper FIC way of life to be part of us. And so with all these qualities, then you are eligible to be a member of the FIC family.
You're welcome back. Still on our conversation with Brother Michael and FIC brother. Brother, welcome once again.
Thank you very much.
Over 49 years
Yes.
as a religious. What are some of your experiences?
Some of my experiences, I will say is commitment, dedication, devotion, honesty, accountable. My experiences in these areas is I want to become a brother to serve Christ. I think that has been a very strong element in me. I want to do all I can to make sure that the mission for which I have chosen to be a consecrated brother is realized. I don't want to deceive myself. So my experience has been, I would say, always that by God's grace, very satisfactory. I try to follow these values, to be honest, to be hardworking, to be serious in what assignment the province has given me. And again, dedication, commitment, self-giving, not trying to put anything, accountable, transparent. These, for me, experiences I try to keep to, that has helped me. Otherwise, I said I couldn't have given service in Nandom for over 20 years. Even when I wanted to, I said 20 years is too much. I should go away, and say some people didn't want me to go, but I said no, let another person come. But I strongly believe that as a religious, I have to be transparent, I have to be accountable, I have to be honest, I have to give myself really that I'm serving Christ. This is an opportunity given to me. I won't get that again. Yeah. So use the best of my knowledge, my skills to do it and do it well. Even though, yes, I'm a weak human being. I know that. So my experiences have been very fulfilling, to put it on. When I left Nandom, I said I'm fulfilled. Having seen the training over the years, the young men and young girls, I brought in girls in 1997. I said the traditional areas of building construction, electrical, I said, let me bring in girls to learn that. And I'm happy that at least one of them, who is now the head of the department there, he has 2 children, he's married, and he has a car. And yes, so I said I'm fulfilled, I'm happy that I could be given this opportunity to be of service to God and to humanity. Yeah.
Was there ever a point in your life as a religious you thought that God has disappointed you?
No, I wouldn't say. I would say.
Okay. You didn't have any challenges?
Challenges, perhaps going back to the family background, as I mentioned. My mother was still there, and the principles I have, when I was building, I didn't mention that because in 1979, I was also asked to build a Cafdil clinic, which I did, in 1979. And I remember one of my sisters telling me, oh, my mother's door, can't I go and fix it with a proper made, this is traditional thing. I said, no, it's not, I wouldn't do that. So helping out to family was something I didn't hold on to very strongly. Until one time, then I was a member of the provincial council. I came from Nandom to my village, and getting towards the house, I saw that the room in which my mother was living, the western wall had collapsed. I said, oh, I thought to myself, oh, this time I have to do something. So it was a time then that I applied to the provincial council to help me put up at least a room or two for my mother, which they did. And I put up 2 rooms for my mother where she lived and died. Yes, so the challenges you mentioned from the family background, they will expect that, you know, giving and providing certain things, which I was not in the position to do that. So I stood by my principal and said no. Even visiting, sometimes I remember my mother saying that for you, you don't even visit none of your sisters is close to you. It was the first time that I visited my sister, the one I came after, who just is where she's married to, is just close to our village. I visited her and talked with her and then left. But also, when I returned from Britain, I saw that my mother and my sister were in the room. And it was the hot season, March. But I was wondering why they were in the room. Then I got to know that my sister was not feeling well. So the following year, I said, okay, let me take you to Chirapa Hospital, which I did. So I took her to Chirapa Hospital for treatment, only to know later, she didn't disclose that to me, only to know that she had breast cancer. But I had to, I brought her home immediately, called the husband from the farm, and said, well, this is the situation, but I don't have the money to send her straight to her. So while a family member, one of them was going to Accra, they took her to Akomfuanoche Hospital where she was, while I was still trying to get some money from my council to help her. Then the news came that she had died. So those, I think that was the challenge with the family case. Otherwise, I don't think I had other challenges. No, I just kept to what I have been assigned to, what my mission is, and I try to stick to that.
How have you lived your community life and enjoyed it?
I've enjoyed community life over the years, particularly in Nandom. In Nandom, where we had a community, what we call Nandom Town Community. We were quite a number of brothers there at that time. That is, if I'm talking about 1970, thereabout. So while some were staying at the secondary school, they had their accommodation there. Some brothers were also staying in town, and I lived there with brothers. But I must say that yes, I say one has to grow.
Yeah.
One has to grow. In other words, if I'm not confronted with an issue, for instance, we are eating at the table, brothers are eating, and a brother says something that I'm not happy about. I remember an occasion like that where the brothers said something or I said something, he knew I wasn't happy about it. So when I went to my room, perhaps now they tell me I talk too much, but perhaps I was a very shy person. I went to my room. The brother came, that was a white brother. You know, he came to my room to apologize for what he did. But then it usually I say when something happens like that, I go silently to my room. I will reflect about it. If it is my fault, I will say, well, let me do something about it. But if it is also the fellow's fault, like this brother who came, I say he did well. I've been very appreciative of that. You know, yes, so I've lived in community. Later on in 1997, precisely, the Nandom Town community was closed down, and we were all asked to go to the Mount Zion community, the secondary school community. I was made house superior. I don't like the word superior anyway, but yeah, superior. I always say I prefer, if I were in the position, I would say they would change it to house superior, no. But anyway, I say house leader for some time. But there again, this challenging community life, I remember a case where one of the workers brought a problem to me. And I called that, he had a problem with a brother. And I called that brother. No, that worker brought a problem to me. And I looked at it, and it appears I rather supported the worker and not the brother. The brother silently, in a way, he wasn't happy about it. And so he used it to punish me in a way in my later years, which I didn't know. No. I went on retirement in 2010, and I thought, I have lived in Nandom for over 20 years. I know Nandom area more than my own area, Kaleo. So while in Kaleo, I got to be interested in this two-term system. I don't know whether you have that. Two-term system, what people taboo, they don't eat, they don't, so on, and how they express certain things from Kaleo, Nandom. I went to almost most of the villages around Kaleo, which I never did, on my little motorbike, and did that research. And Father Stephen Kangwina helped structure it for me, now after writing that whole thing, then I started having problem with my eyes. In any case, I got to a point where I just got finished it, and I gave it to one professor, Domas Turosong, to read through. He is an Englishman, to read through, and he did. Again, with the problem with my eyes, I gave it then to this brother who was still in Nandom, heading Nandom Secondary School, because he also comes from my area, to look at it, certain areas that are now to correct it before I can send it for printing. 2013, up to date, he never said a word. No. And I sent it to him with my pen drive, everything, and never sent a word. I called him, he won't take. So, yeah, he has punished me like that. There's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
So, community life, that is one of it. It's, you think you are doing good, but another person takes it as you don't express it. Some will express it like the brother I said. He came to my room and said, well, he did. Another brother did the same in Kaleo. We were having a chat in our hall and laughing very well. Then it came to a point where he realized that I was not responding anymore. He knew there was something wrong. So when we parted, I went to my room. He came there, he said he knew what he said was not right, so he apologized. Okay. That's fine. Yeah. There was another issue with another brother that went too bad, I would say also. But yeah, that is what as a house leader, then also in Kaleo, as a house leader, they came and they told me about certain relationship. That brother with a lady relationship, and then I didn't talk about it. I was only doing my investigation gradually. But one day he exploded during our dining table. You two, you are not perfect. He was pointing to me like that. And he has passed through my hands. You are not perfect. You are a hypocrite. You are this, you are that, you are that. Hey, is that it? You know, I said a lot more of things, and Then other brothers had to calm him down. And but I said, yeah, because at that time, I mean, who am I anymore? I was heading schools. I was a member of the council, a vice provincial. I've been superiors in other community or community leader, and now I was heading the school in Cafdil there. Now I'm gone on retirement 2010. I don't have position. So he is now having a position. He is now a member of the council. So he can, even to the point that any kind of leadership in the community, he will make sure that I don't get it.
Wow.
He will make sure that I don't get it. So that was a very painful thing in the community life. So, but yeah, even to the point that I was even afraid, because the lady with whom this whole affair was also our cook, and I was afraid if I didn't take care, well, I could be poisoned if I were ever alone in the community, you know. So I hardly ate that time, and people say I was getting weaker and weaker. And so I asked for a transfer to go to get somewhere else, where the provincial superior sent me to Sunyani. But yes, community, they have been. I never expected that. But I say it's part of the growth process. And if you are not confronted with that, you will know that yes, that's the reality of life.
So based on these experiences, what advice would you give to young religious men and women today?
I have told the young people that young brothers, Porcelans or even very young brothers, be focused, always focus on Christ. Don't allow anybody to frustrate you. Don't allow anybody, any person to frustrate you. Keep straight to what you have chosen, your vocation. If you allow somebody to frustrate you, you go out, you have to be a happy person. You have to be a happy religious. But again, always look at Christ. And if you do that, always pray. If you do that, you'll be a happy person. Everything will come, will fall its way. In Nandon, when somebody will say, oh, this is happening, that is happening, I say, look, it's a wind that will pass on. You know, you are not afraid. Again, if you are honest, you are sincere, you are accountable, you are not afraid. Just be focused. Said, don't allow any person to frustrate you in life. No. Keep going strong. Believe in that Christ is always present in your life. So that is all. Yes. So many young people, religious, you can find it difficult in a community where somebody can be very harsh and say things that just keep to who you are, and you'll be a happy person. Okay. Keep praying, and make sure you follow the also the timetable of the community. Don't stay alone. Don't stay alone.
Be active in the community.
Yeah, always make sure you are in the community. Participate in every community activity that is there, particularly like recollections, retreats. And a retreat is not just there where you go and come back and be the same person. It should change you. It should change you to be a better person. That is the only way to be a follower of Christ. Otherwise, I say you can't make it. If you want to listen to others and to listen to what your emotions are telling you, you can't make it. You have to listen to the voice of Christ. to his word. Read the documents that are in front of you. I said, brothers attend retreats and come back, and if you observe, I say you remain the same. You haven't made any change. No. The same thing that they were doing is the same thing that they are keeping doing. To make I said, we've attended a very excellent retreat preached by a priest. Mostly like we are a religious, I think the last one was preached by Father Timothy, who is in Kumasi there. I said, we go back and you observe the person with whom you are living is doing the same thing. I said, you won't come to community gatherings, you go your own way. So I expect that after a retreat, you change and say, okay, you come to the brothers when we have recreation together, when we eat together, when we pray together. To have a brother and you have a Eucharistic celebration going on and you take the car and you are gone. I say, I've never seen this. Yeah. So we should be exemplary. A brother, a consecrated person or a sister, you should be exemplary. And that is how we can bring in young people. If you are not exemplary, forget it. You can't bring in people. Your life is different from the words you speak, but the lived life must be exemplary. Very, very exemplary. And that will attract young people to come in. And that you are selfless, you are dedicated yourself to be of service to God and to humanity.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
So there is this notion that most of our youth are living in the church.
Yeah.
Therefore, our numbers keep reducing. What do you think are some of the things we can do or measures to put in place to make sure that they remain in the church?
Yes. There again, what I've just said, we have to be exemplary. In Nandom, I was in my office one day when, and this man, he was, when he wasn't a brother, who was heading Nandom Secondary School at the time, he knocked at my door, came in, sit down, he sat down. He said, we thought we were looking up to you as FIC brothers. You were now an example, but when we saw some of your young brothers, there is a place called Zenwa in Nandom, where a refreshment place. When I saw them with some ladies and the amount they paid, I couldn't believe my eyes. Said, I thought you were exemplary. You see, young people, again, we have to be exemplary. If I go, there is a place called here called Relax. If I go and sit there and drink and drink and drink and drink, when they know that at 6 o'clock you should be in your community and join your fellow brothers in prayers. Right after prayers, you go and have a meal and so on and so forth. You are sitting there and chatting, and you are just talking about one of the brothers. One of the problems, and the people around there, they see all this. They will say, why should they join such people? It's no need. One of the problems we are having, I don't know in your case, but majority, minority. You are the majority group. You are the minority group. Then you have a clique system. Also in this religious, you say, where is that coming from? Yeah. Clique system.
Very strong ones.
Very strong ones, you know. And it's not helping us. And the young ones outside, they see it. They say, well, we are not going to waste our time in this way of life.
And if you don't belong to any group,
exactly,
you suffer.
Yeah. We have to do away with it completely. But it looks like it's getting worse and worse. You hear some of the things and you say, wow. I said, when I became a young brother at that time, 1976, I said, we didn't know about these things. I said, the Kaleo area and Nandom area, we are to put it this way, we are the minority, they are the majority. But I didn't know I was living with we are called one brothers. Today is different. They may not say it openly. And so young people look at the model life we are living. If you can pull out money so much and pay for this, and you say you are poor people, you are consecrated with the vows of obedience, celibacy, and poverty. Poverty. One of the issues with our consecrated life now is, I think the area that we should hinge on is obedience. If you obey, not you are obeying even to your superior, yes, but obeying to Christ, you keep to the values and the principles that underpin consecrated religious life. Otherwise, it's no use. You don't obey. You do what you want. And again, the young people, they look at us, they see what is happening. If we really want to live a very sincere and a very prudent life, you see they will join. They will join, in spite of the fact that quite a number of them are materialistic. They want material things. That will always be there. But quite a number of them are also yearning actually to know Christ. For instance, if you take even like the FIC, it becomes what some people will call a very local, when it's missionary-like, they like to join the White Fathers where they can go somewhere or other missionary organizations. But our problem, basically, the young people see is we become this majority and minority. The clique system is growing. And then, unfortunately, they can clique together and get the consent of the provincial superior or who, so that they are favored. So we sit down and look at, if you want to live it this way, young people will not come. They see it and say they are not going to waste their time. Yeah. So we need to be more serious, really commitment, selfless. In the past weeks, Jesus is talking about he's praying the priestly prayer. Let them be one. There must be unity in our communities. If there is unity in our communities, I believe strongly we'll get young ones. Where we work together, we do things together, even in spite of the difficulties, in spite of the certain constraints. We are not poor. We eat 3 times a day, and we sleep well. Some people are there; they don't get a meal a day. So we are well fed and taken care of. Yeah.
Okay, brother. So before we take leave of you, what will be your parting words for our viewers?
They should appreciate consecrated people. Appreciate consecrated people who are doing not their own will, they are doing the will of God. bringing development, bringing bringing humanity to a certain level of happiness that they will always experience. So people should appreciate religious life, consecrated life, and also encourage the young ones to be part of it. Sometimes they say, Presley, there is nothing wrong with that. Every person is called. You are called to the marriage life, and if you respond to it, that is where we are all coming from. You are called to become a priest, accept it. You are called to become a religious brother or a sister. Most of them, they know sisters more than brothers. Even the bishops, they will mention all the vocation. When they are coming, they will say the priest and the sisters. They will mention brothers. You know, so how do you then get them there? They are not. The question I've always asked, whether in the seminary they've taught them religious life, what it means. So they can do a lot. Consecrated life, consecrated people. The sisters, they are doing a lot. So let the young ones come and join them, as those of them are aging. They can't do, but they have already done a lot. They have brought health facilities to people in need, and so much good that people should appreciate consecrated people and encourage the young ones to join them. And that is the way to go. Yeah. So that is what I will say.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Michael.
Yeah.
We are grateful to you.
Okay.
We appreciate your time and your sharing.
Yeah.
And we also appreciate the fact that you have contributed in your own ways to the growth of the FIC we see today.
Yeah.
May God continue to strengthen you in your old age.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
We come to the end of today's edition of Religious Vocation Digest, live from the FIC community, St. Louis community, precisely here in Wa. If you want to be a brother, or if you are considering the brotherhood vocation, I present to you the FIC brothers. Their numbers are on the screen. You can give them a call and the vocation promoter will respond to you. Let's do this again next week. Until then, may God fill us with His peace.